What's up, everyone? Good morning. Welcome back to another live stream, another interesting day in the markets. It looks like the markets are moving down. If you look at the charts, you can see that we are moving down on QQQ and SQQQ. The short of that is moving up. So it's going to be an interesting day today. We just had the consumer price index come out. We've got a lot to discuss regarding that. Some jobless data just came out. Both of those were worse than we were expecting, right? We got more inflation and more jobless claims than we were expecting. Hero says Lucid Group, possible $45 plus at open. Let's go. Well, we'll take a look at Lucid right now. We'll take a look at Lucid. So looks like they're around 42.50. So maybe they'll get there. But they're ways away right now. So I don't know if they'll get to $45 plus at open. They've got a long way to go if that's where they're headed, but potentially possible. So with QQQ, I actually just entered a trade on SQQQ, the short of that. So QQQ is very similar to SPY. It essentially tracks some of the biggest tech companies in SPY. So in the S&P, that's what QQQ tracks, and SQQQ is a leveraged short of that. So rather than just shorting QQQ, I actually just bought about 500 shares of SQQQ at $6.44. So we'll see how that performs during the day. I expect that the markets could be moving down. Of course, that's not a guarantee, right? It's just because they have been starting to falter. If you look at the chart over the past 5 days, the markets haven't been doing great. They had a big drop yesterday, and we have been trending down in after hours and pre-market. So it's very possible that that will continue. But I am somewhat confident that SQQQ will be moving up. So that's why I decided to enter the position on it. And if it did happen to drop below $6, that would be my stop loss, right? If we started making new lows on SQQQ, that's when I would get out. But I think that we might be moving up a little bit more on this one. So here, SoFi Technologies Inc. What's your take? Bull run today? We'll take a look at SoFi. It's going to be tough for anything to have a bull run today, right? The markets are moving down. And we did just get bad inflation numbers. However, they do have their earnings call coming up, so potentially. But SoFi is more of a long-term play for me. I'm not trading SoFi, not betting on it moving up really quickly in the short term. So it's not a guarantee that we'll have a run today, right? We moved down pretty significantly yesterday. It looks like the markets are tanking a little bit. And it looks like we were down pretty significantly in after hours and pre-market as well. And maybe the earnings call can save us. Maybe it can, but we'll have to wait until that comes out. I think it's 4 p.m. So there we go. Ashtray, what about BGFV, Big Five Sporting Goods? We'll take a look at that. BGFV, Big Five Sporting Goods. It looks like we had some moves in pre-market that were then erased. We had some moves in aftermarket that were then erased in pre-market, pretty much. Might be struggling to get up above 40, to stay above 40, that is. So with Big Five, 40 might just be a resistance for us, and we'll have to see what we do at open, if we can get some momentum and some volume coming in to get us past 40. We're very close right now. We're at 39.72, so very close. And let's see, Zach Taylor, good morning, Rom. Gold and silver, finally. Well, let's take a look. Let's see what gold is up to. I haven't actually looked at gold today, but that's really good stuff. Wow, that's awesome. Finally, that's what I'm talking about. The CPI came out today. We can pull that up. The CPI came out, and we got year-over-year inflation of 4.6%, so that beat expectations, right? We were expecting 4.3%. So not surprising that gold and silver are finally starting to move up. That's going to be really good for the overall inflation portfolio that I built. So finally, we're starting to see some big moves in gold and silver. I wonder what Barrick Gold is doing. Let's see, Barrick Gold up above 20. That's good to see. Okay, cool. So yeah, gold and silver are doing great. And the markets are not doing incredibly well, right? The markets have been trending down a little bit. If you look at QQQ, it's been trending down. I actually just entered a position in SQQQ, expecting it to do decently. I entered at 644. I got 500 shares at 644. So we'll see how SQQQ does it. It's basically a short of QQQ that's leveraged. So Mac Attack, PROG and AQST going to the moon. Yeah, PROG, I saw it was up above 350 in pre-market. Maybe it's still there, I hope. It just dipped below 350. Well, we're going to see. They have earnings coming out later today, I think 4 o'clock, maybe 4:30. 3:30, okay. And Mara popping top. Okay, let's see what Mara's doing. Yeah, Mara's up at 77.50. Okay, nice. Marathon Digital Holdings. Nice. Not quite all-time highs, but getting close. Ashtray, what are your thoughts on Ortex data on Big 5? And also, good morning. Good morning, Ash. We'll take a look at the Ortex data for Big 5. Let's see. Let's see what the Ortex says. I remember they were fairly heavily shorted last we looked, but Ortex, it looks like they've increased their short positions a little bit today, up 1.63%. I hope is the right camera on. Okay, cool. And yeah, they've increased their short interest by 1.63%, up to 41.56% total as a percentage of the free float, 8.4 million shares short. And it's kind of the same as what we looked at yesterday, right? The utilization is still very high. So still a lot of people shorting it. But let's see. Let me actually look at the chart, BGFB again. So yeah, the fact that it is moving up so significantly, and they do have this special dividend coming out, a lot of people are probably going to want to get in on that. Let's see, when is the ex-dividend date? Let's see if we can't track that down. Maybe Google will be a better help than the live news on this one. Big 5, BGFE. So, shorts may cover on good news, on earnings, on PROG. They might. They might. And Lamar Loves You says, do you think Fartcoin is a legit use token or just a meme token? It sounds like a meme token, but we'll have to, let me look into it. I've never heard of Fart token before, so I'll look into it in just a second. And then Ambition says, morning. Good morning, Ambition. So the special dividend on BGFV. So over the past, let's look at the past week and see if we've got any updates on it. Okay, so 11/16 it looks like is the ex-dividend date. Okay, so this is actually a post on Reddit, but we'll pull it up. And special dividend with owning shares before the ex-dividend date of 11/16/21. All right, so we could be seeing a big run up around 11/16, trying to grab shares of BGFV to get in on that special dividend. That would be interesting. Looks like we're starting to have a slight uptrend in the markets. Slight uptrend on QQQ, but we'll see what happens at market open. Manny C says, good morning, Rob. Good morning, Manny. And Randy the Ape, good morning to you also. Good morning, everybody. All right, we've already got quite a few people in here, so that's good stuff. Now, what we were going to talk about, now that we've got some more people, I will bring in a couple of... hit the like button, Randy says. Nice. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, let's see how many we can get. We're at 15 right now, but so let's see. The news that came out at 8:30 this morning, we got the core consumer price index, and these are the year-over-year numbers. It came in at 4.6 annual inflation, and we were expecting 4.3%. And we also got, so that's bad news, right? Bad news for the economy. The fact that there's more inflation than was expected. People don't like that. And also we got initial jobless claims. And this is actually the first jobless claims report that we've done poorly on in a while, right? Typically, we actually have fewer jobless claims than the forecast. And this time we actually had a couple thousand more, not that many. It's barely a miss, right? We only had 267,000 jobless claims compared to the 265,000 that were forecast. So we only missed by 2,000, but typically we have been beating by several thousand, right? Every time that we've had jobless claims, at least for the past many months, at least the past 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 months. So this is the first bad jobless claims report that we've gotten. And stocks aren't reacting incredibly well to this, right? You can see that at 8:30, the markets dropped quite a bit when both of these reports came out. They dropped down, the QQQ at least, dropped down from 393 down to 392. And we'll see what happens at market open, right? People, obviously, some people are still waking up. Some people are going to be, looking at the stocks for the first time at market open, and we'll see what actually happens when we get a lot of volume. If we start moving down, which is, what I'm actually hoping for right now, because I will show you guys. For those of you who just joined, I did enter a position on SQQQ at $6.44. And for those of you who don't know what SQQ is, it's a leveraged short of QQQ, which basically just tracks some of the largest tech companies in the S&P. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm shorting the market, essentially, right? I think the market's going to move down. Obviously, it's not a guarantee that I'll be successful with this trade, but if you look, especially at the past year, you can see SQQQ typically just moves down. It looks like we're starting to begin a little bit of an uptrend. We've gotten some good momentum yesterday, right, when the markets are moving down. I expect that when we open, we'll actually open a bit higher than where we were. And unfortunately, I didn't enter this yesterday. I did just enter this morning, just a couple of minutes before starting the stream. But I'm fairly confident that the markets will be dropping a little bit, right? We got bad news. Gold and silver are up, which is typically an indication that people are losing a little bit of confidence in the markets. You can see the VIX as well is rising. So people are expecting more volatile markets. That typically correlates with falling markets. So I'm thinking the markets might be going down a little bit. So JP says, good morning, all you good people. And Saucy Fredo, PROG sold off a bit. Let's see PROG. What happened with PROG? When did they sell off? Because they were up at 350. Oh, yeah, they did sell off a bit. That's not great. That's not what we wanted. We would ideally have been opening above 350, but that's almost, well, they might go with the markets today. They might end up tanking with the markets. We'll have to see what happens with PROG. That's not the best. The fact that we are bouncing off of 350 in a fairly significant way. Phantom Cat, good morning, Phantom Cat. And Zach Taylor just re-entered JNUG and DBC. I'm guessing those are gold miners. JNUG. Certainly sounds like a gold miner. Yeah, okay. Oh, nice. A 3x index. Nice. And DBC. Let's see what that one is. Commodity index. Okay. So I'm guessing this is a couple of commodities, potentially oil and maybe wheat. Let's see what DBC is all about. I'm curious. I've not actually heard of DBC. So let's see if we can't find, maybe MarketWatch would have it. Yahoo Finance doesn't typically give descriptions of these stocks or ETFs, so let's find it on MarketWatch. They usually have a company profile that you can look at. So DBC. No, they don't, but they're holdings. Let's see what that is. So Invesco Government and Agency Portfolio and Treasury Collateral ETF. Okay, so a lot of bonds, some cash, and some other. All right. Okay. So D-Roan, I just bought some SQQQ. Nice. I'm in that too. We'll see what happens, right? We're right at break even for me. We're very close to break even. 644 is where I bought in. So we'll see what happens at market open. We've kind of, ever since I bought in, just been jumping around between 643 and 645. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Inflation hedge ETF, says Zach Taylor. Nice. And All Blaster, Wish earnings after hours today. We'll take a look at Wish. Let's see if they're going to beat the markets. It looks like they're relatively stagnant, right? They moved up in pre-market and a little bit after hours also, but then they moved down. So they're almost exactly where they closed, actually. So we'll see what happens with Wish today. And FA, I usually hit the like even if I can't watch long lol. I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that. It helps get the stream out to more people, and then we end up getting some good comments and whatnot. D-Ron lol, I bought it because of you. I think the market could hurt too after the CPI. I think so. And always be careful, guys. Do not just, don't just buy something because I buy it. I can lose money on these things just as well as you. I'm not planning on it, right? I obviously don't want to, but I don't want to be responsible for any losses. So feel free, if you wish to copy what I do, but I do put it out there, but typically not so that people can copy it directly, but use it as an indication. Yeah, of course. D-Brown says good. Good. But yeah, my plan with SQQQ is cut losses if we start making new lows potentially below 605. I don't think that will happen, right? That would require either for us to stagnate with QQQ for a while, because this does perpetually just lose value over time since it's tracking options. But another situation is if we then did rise and start making new highs on QQQ, obviously this would start making new lows. So that's my plan for exit. And my plan for exiting with profits, well, we'll have to see what happens, but I could see QQQ getting some support at 390 potentially, right? We saw a little bit of resistance past there, and 390 is a psychological level, so we'll have to see how much further we can drop. If we see a blast through 390, then maybe 385 could be another point at which to consider exiting this thing. That's when we might see some support. So we'll see what happens with it. I don't have too too concrete of an exit plan for this one. I'm more so just watching the market, seeing what they end up doing, and we'll see. We'll see what happens with it. So KTZ says not financial advice. Exactly, not financial advice. And Sotos Pitsins, I bought DWC at 105. What is your advice at this point? Well, no advice, but it will look at DWAC. I'll tell you, I'm still holding my DWAC. I think that DWAC, well, once Trump really starts talking about it, I think we'll see a big pump in price, right? We saw this big pump 2 days ago when there was just news that Trump was speaking at a roundtable that had nothing to do with DWAC or his social media company. So just Trump speaking at anything has already pumped the stock up a decent amount. Of course, we gave back those gains, right? Because Trump didn't end up mentioning DWAC, at least not that I'm aware of. And, we'll see what happens with it. I think that once he starts talking, though, we'll start moving up. But 105 is a high price to have bought in at. And there's no guarantee that we won't be dropping down. If we look at the 30-day, there's no guarantee that we won't be dropping down below 55, right? It has acted as support for us several times, but it can only do that so many times before it falters, right? We've already used it 1, 2, and then kind of another time we got to 55, 50, 77. So 3 times essentially we've used this 55 support, and we're getting close to it again. And the fact that the markets are moving down isn't ideal. So obviously we could be breaking through that. We could be moving down. It just depends on what your risk tolerance is, if you're willing to stick in it for the long haul, right? To see what happens when Trump speaks on it. So Ambition 2020, thoughts on RNXT? We'll take a look. Renorvix Inc. Okay, so we pumped up quite a bit. Let's see what the catalyst was on that. Up 136% pre-market. Tuesday evening made a presentation on intra-arterial chemotherapy as a potential innovative treatment for pancreatic cancer. Wow, okay. Okay, so it looks like they have some potentially promising treatment for pancreatic cancer. Where are they about to open? Is it $14 that I saw? So 14 is where the high. So they're opening just below 10. So over the past year, they're actually pretty close, not that far off from all-time highs. They're far above where they were over the past couple of months that they've IPO'd. Let's see what the market cap is on this one. It's always promising when companies come out with these treatments, but sometimes it can be a little bit of hype. But let's see, RNXT. Sometimes they do fall. I mean, we've already fallen a bit off the highs, but potentially when market opens and more people are hearing about this, some traders might take it. So it has a $45 million market cap. It's going to be pretty volatile from the sound of it, right? That's an easy market cap to move. And pancreatic cancer is a decently sizable issue, right? A lot of people probably suffer from that, and treatment for it sounds pretty profitable. So it depends. I mean, obviously, this is just a presentation as a potential innovative treatment. So it's not a guarantee that they're actually going to be able to get FDA approval or be successful with their studies. But we'll have to see with that. I mean, if you're thinking of a long-term buy on it, it's going to be a risky one. Right now that it's up at 10. If for whatever reason, if the FDA declines their treatment or if the study fails, it could drop back down to 5. But if it's actually successful, I mean, these kind of companies can explode when they get these patents for treatments like that kind of stuff. And the $45 million market cap is relatively small for a pancreatic cancer treatment. So it could be a good one. It could be good. I typically don't play the pharmaceutical plays, right? The ones that are involved in medicine and whatnot, just because there is so much volatility around a seemingly arbitrary decision of, if their treatment ends up working. And I don't know enough about medicine to actually say which companies are most likely to succeed with their trials. I mean, if I was a doctor who liked trading stocks, then yeah, I might research pretty deeply into how they're treating things and use some of my own knowledge to figure out which ones are more likely to succeed. But that's a tough one for me. I'm not too well versed in medical terminology and all that, so can't really say if it's going to be successful. But if it is, then it definitely seems like it has the potential to move up pretty big. So Mohammed Sadiq, hi Rob, is ATR still a good buy? We'll take a look at ATR. I see they have dipped a little bit, I believe. So yeah, they're dipping along with the markets, and I'm wary to say that anything is a good buy right now. Right when the markets are moving down, there's no guarantee that anything is going to be green. We'll see what happens with it. I mean, obviously, we had a lot of shorts in it And we did get bounced off of $8 twice, which isn't the best. And now we're starting to move down. I don't know if I would get in it, right? I probably wouldn't, just because, well, I mean, we are hitting a little bit of support right here. Maybe 650 could act as support. We're getting close to these past two resistance levels right here at 650. We bounced off of that, so that might act as a little support for us, but we'll see. It depends on what you're looking to do with ATR. Will we get past 8? I'm not too sure about that with the market moving down. But we could, right? We do have a lot of shorts on ATR. We can take a peek at the Ortex data and see what it says. If I remember correctly, it's fairly high. Yeah, okay, so 22% of the free float is shorted, and we do have a slight increase today. So shorts are doubling down. They're putting more fuel on the fire, and we're getting pretty close to 100% utilization. We're at 80% utilization right now. So a lot of shorts in this one, and the fact that we got bounced off of 8 twice isn't ideal, right? Yesterday was a relatively negative day for the market. It was a good day for ATR regarding where we closed the day before, but the fact that we're starting to move down, we are kind of following the markets with this one, from the look of it, right? So, crypto is pumping, says Grim Reefer. We will take a look at crypto. I've not looked at crypto in about 20 minutes, so we'll take a look. I saw Bitcoin. Bitcoin was doing well yesterday. Yeah, crypto's actually, Bitcoin is up. Ethereum is up. But Shib, Shiba Inu, I was looking at this one earlier today. Shiba Inu is down, unfortunately. So if you look over the past day, over the past 24 hours, we're down 7.62% on Shiba Inu coins. So not ideal for a lot of the people hoping for the big Shib pump. We'll see what happens if Robinhood lists them. I mean, that's what a lot of people like to talk about. But I'm not sure if it's going to happen. I mean, I think it would be a good move for Robinhood, right? They could list them. And they certainly made a lot of money off of Dogecoin, off of payment for order flow with Dogecoin. So it makes sense that, listing Shiba Inu would be a good decision for them. No reason not to list, in my opinion, but for some reason they haven't done it yet. So, Son Lee, thoughts on Riot? And thoughts on PROG, says Sotos Pizzini. Well, we looked at PROG a little bit earlier. It's not ideal that we're bouncing off of 350 in a fairly strong way, though we have come back a bit. So we'll have to see. I mean, what we want today is to get above 350 and hold there, and potentially start using it as a support, right? We have the earnings coming out. We're going to see if that can't rally some momentum for PROG. It's still very heavily shorted, and we still have those options contracts that are expiring on the 19th. So if we look at PROG, November 19th, we have 29,000 open interest call options at 3.5 and almost 35,000 at 4. So a lot of people are shorting PROG and selling call options, which could really lead to a lot of buying pressure if we get a natural boost up in price, right? We need a natural boost up to start putting pressure on people who have shorted it and have sold those call options to actually make them start buying up PROG. But thoughts on Riot, says Hassan Lee. And Saucy Fredo, I will explain SQQQ in a moment. So first, Riot. Riot Blockchain Inc. That sounds like a good name for a company. Looks like I had looked at this stock way back in the past and have some lines drawn for it for around. I don't know why I have all of these lines drawn. Let's delete these. These are old news. Old news lines. All right. Let's get rid of those. Nice. Okay, so Riot Blockchain. Let's see what they're all about. I've certainly heard of them, but I've not actually looked too deeply into what they're all about. So let's just get a brief overview of it. Riot. Okay, so it looks like over the past bit they've been pumping up. Let's see if there was new, maybe just on earnings expectations. When is that? 11/15 it looks like is their earnings date. Let's see. So Riot Blockchain is a Bitcoin mining company which engages in the provision of special cryptocurrency mining computers. Okay. So crypto mining business, that's obviously going to do well while Bitcoin is doing well. So Bitcoin's making all-time highs. Riot's going to likely be following suit and maybe not making all-time highs. We'll see. They are on their way up. This could be a good play, right? It's lagging Bitcoin a bit. If you look at Bitcoin, we had Bitcoin here a second ago. I'll pull up Bitcoin's price again. Over the past year, this is what Bitcoin's been doing. So they are actually making all-time highs. It looks like they just made all-time highs today, actually, just a couple of moments ago, they made all-time highs. $68,744.03 is their all-time high, it looks like. And we just made that not too long ago. Just 6 minutes ago, Bitcoin made an all-time high. So it stands to reason that Riot should be doing pretty well also. That would make sense, right? If they were doing well while the asset that they mine is doing well. It's kind of how it works for gold and silver. So yeah, Riot could be doing good, especially if Bitcoin keeps rising. However, we are at all-time highs with Bitcoin, and what's scary about Riot is that they aren't at their all-time highs, right? They were way back when Bitcoin was at 60,000 initially. Maybe people were just hyping it up too much. Now we have slightly more realistic expectations for what they actually produce, perhaps. I'm not sure. I haven't looked too deeply into them, but let's see. Steve says, good morning. What do you think about KLR? We'll take a look at KLR. And good morning to you also. Calaria Inc. Let's see what they're all about. KLR. I like hearing about these new stocks. It's a new stock every couple of minutes that we hear about, so that's good stuff. Calaria, it's a global group providing mobile communication services for financial institutions and enterprises of all sizes worldwide. Its proprietary platform manages multi-channel integrated communication services on a global scale. Okay, so they comprise of messages, push notifications, email, instant messaging, voice services, and chatbots. Not too sure what they're doing that you can't just get with a normal phone service. I mean, the chatbots, I suppose, but I mean, I have messages and push notifications, email, and instant messaging. So I don't know. I don't know what they're really doing that's that much that's that different. But they have a $500 million market cap, so they must be doing something right. They just had earnings. I mean, people are buying their stuff, and they have been moving up on that. So over the course of today, they're up even higher. They're up to 1340 right now. So we'll see. I mean that's an interesting business to be in, I suppose. But I've not bought in. I've not really not understanding into what they're really doing, other than providing stuff that it seems like people could get elsewhere. Maybe that was just an oversimplified profile on MarketWatch. Maybe they really do something more complex than that. But let's see. DWAC might go down to the 40s or lower. I hope not. If they went down to the 40s, that's when I'd be looking to get out, unfortunately. So Saucy Fredo, what's SQQQ? So SQQQ is, if you look at QQQ, you have to understand what QQQ is first. It's tracking the largest tech companies in the S&P 500. So over the past year, I'll pull up the SPY. You've got the SPY right here over the past year. QQQ is basically just tracking the largest tech companies in the S&P, so it's a little bit more volatile. But SQQQ is a leveraged short of QQQ. So you can see that when QQQ is moving up, SQQQ is moving down, and in a big way. But when QQQ moves down, like when they reach their peak at 3.5 right here, that's when they reached when they reached their pit over here at 3.5. SQQQ reached their peak right here. So SQQQ basically just moves inversely in relation to QQQ. So it's a way to short the market without literally buying short shares, which is a little bit riskier, right? Short shares, there's potential for infinite losses. Obviously, the market would have to really move up significantly for infinite losses, but SQQQ, I just prefer buying something, and it is 3 times leveraged, so it moves a bit more, right? If the market moves down 1%, then this should move up 3%. So that's what SQQQ is all about. And it looks like we'll be opening green with this position, right? We bought 500 shares at 644, so we've only made $5 on the day. We've only moved up a cent. We're at 645, and now 646. The market is moving down a little bit, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. We're up a little bit. We'll pull this up. We're up 1250 on it, so we'll see what happens. It's not the largest position, but we'll see what happens. And Hassan Lee, Rob, thanks, Rob, for looking into Riot. Good to hear your view. Yeah, man, you're welcome. I enjoy hearing about those stocks. I obviously hadn't looked at Riot in a bit from the look at that chart where I had those lines drawn back when it was at $3. So wish I'd bought back then, actually, right? And Connie says, so they're saying on other pages that Evergrand defaulted. Wow, that would be bad. That would not be good. That would explain why the markets aren't doing too great. We're down 0.81% on QQQ already. And gold up 1.4%, silver up 2.84%. The VIX is up. We'll see what happens on this first part of the market. It just turned green, actually. We'll see. Maybe the market's reversing. We'll see what happens with that. And Tesla down to 1,003. Geez, let's take a look at Tesla. Let's take a look at Tesla. Yeah, down 1,008 now. They moved up a little bit, but geez, Tesla's been tanking, down 1.51% today. Not ideal. Not ideal for Tesla. Penny Smith, 2012. Good morning, sir. Love the channel. Could you take a look at the TA on WBX? We will look at WBX. WBX. There we go. So Wallbox. Let's see what this company's all about real quick, and we'll pull out the yearly chart. SQQQ getting close to highs of day. So WBX. Let's see. Wallbox, $16. Crazy chart that they've got. Crazy chart. Looks like they jumped up big on some kind of catalyst on the 26th of October. Let's see if we can't see what happened there. Okay, they team up to provide Uber drivers in the Bay Area with solutions for home EV charging. All right. Yeah, okay. So, strategic partnership with Uber. Nice. That is promising. That's promising. Let's see what they're all about. So, EV charging company, what's their market cap? Doesn't have a market cap, but 137 million shares outstanding, multiplied by the price. Let's do some math on that. 137 times 16, so about a $2 billion market cap. Not bad. I mean, EV is definitely a big area right now. A lot of people are in on EV. So it could be going up, but I do worry. We'll see. You know, that is a potentially good business to be in, but it's tough to say on this one, right? It was a SPAC. It looks like it went public and then pumped up a ton. We'll see what happens with it. I mean, below $14, it's looking a little bit dicey, right? You're starting to make new lows on the thing, at least since the big pump up. So it would look a little bit dicey to me at that point. Obviously, their earnings, it looks like they started moving down on that. Not surprising, right? If they're this new of a company. So we'll see what happens with them, but I would be wary of them below 14. If they can start an uptrend, though, that could be good, right? EV's a big market, but they already have a $2 billion market cap. So we'll see what happens. Saucy Fredo, PROG bounced nicely. Let's take a look. 343. Nice. Okay. They bounced off of 350, unfortunately. We're going to have to see if they can't get back up above that. Hopefully they will. And Saucy Fredo's getting greens all over. Vivirotic, it's funny watching CNBC pushing Rivian stock. Yeah, what is the ticker on that? I heard about the Rivian IPO. Didn't they just do that? Let me look up the ticker. I'm curious. So Rivian Automotive, an American electric vehicle automaker and automotive technology company founded in 2009. Rivian is building an electric sports utility vehicle and pickup truck on a skateboard platform that can support future vehicles or be adopted by other companies. Okay. So it being valued at nearly $70 billion. RIVN is the symbol, the ticker. So Rivian Automotive, let's see what they've been doing. So we're up $32 on SQQQ, not that much, but we'll see how low the markets want to fall today. Maybe, I mean, they could always turn around, right? This could turn into a V. We'll see what happens with it. But Rivian, if it would pull up the chart, that would be nice. It's taking a second to load. Oxygen is ripping. We'll take a peek at that. AMC is moving down, though. We have had this on the bottom right chart for most of the morning, and it's been dipping below 40, unfortunately, right? So that's unfortunate for AMC. But let's look at Oxygen. Yeah, Oxygen up 4.8% on the day. Most of that gain coming in the first couple of minutes of market open. It's been ripping. So good for Oxygen holders. Here, Oxygen Inc. Does Oxygen have a shot at winning EUA for its vaccine in kids? Potentially. Maybe it does, right? I'm not part of the FDA. I don't know. But they did get emergency use listing approval, emergency approval for listing. So we'll see what happens with them. They could get emergency use, but in kids it's a different story, right? For kids, they might prefer to just give emergency use authorization to the vaccines that have been around for a bit, like Pfizer and Moderna, Johnson & Johnson. Ocugen's just got emergency use listing, so we'll see what happens with it. No guarantees. All right, looks like the markets are deciding, do they want to be green or red on the day? They're right around where they were at open. They're starting to come back a little bit. Let's see if there's any news driving this. Might just be people buying up the dip, right? People are seeing that markets are moving down, so they might want to get in while they're cheap. Unfortunately, that means that our position in SQQQ is at break even right now. We're back down to 644. We'll see. Promising for kids approval. OCGN is not mRNA. There are some side effects with mRNA, says Carmen Rendell. Okay. That is promising. That is promising then. Yeah, maybe they will. I haven't kept up too much with the medical side of Ocugen, right? I just heard about the news, right? The emergency use listing and all that. So I've not kept up too much with it, but if it works better, then it works better. We'll see. And it's the vaccine's a moneymaker. It certainly is. Look at stocks. I guess Rivian isn't going to pull up, but we can look at stocks like PFE, Pfizer. And they certainly have done very well over this whole thing, right? They've been making money left and right, hand over fist, and they've been doing pretty good. They almost haven't gone up as much as you would expect. But mRNA, Moderna, let's see. Moderna was doing very well until recently. They just started tanking, gave up most of their gains. Obviously, this one wasn't going to be able to sustain those levels forever. They were very hyped up. But, if you bought this thing 2 years ago for $17, you've still more than 10x'd it. So that's definitely good. For anyone holding this over the long term who has been, you're still massively in the green on these vaccine stocks. They've been doing pretty good. But let's see what's going on with the markets. They're just being a little volatile right here, kind of stagnating around the open. We're going to see if we get a bounce off or a continuation through. I'm hoping, contrary to what a lot of people are hoping for, I'm hoping the markets keep moving down just over the short term, right? Because then, since I've entered a little short position on the markets, you make some money there, and you get to buy stocks cheaper later, right? The lower the market goes, the cheaper you get in on the long-term positions on these stocks. So that's my view on it, right? Make money while it's falling, and then buy up stocks for the long term. That's what I like to do, but we'll see what happens. I'm probably not going to be exiting this position today, right? I'm thinking that over the next couple of days, the market might be doing kind of poorly, right? I have my stop loss set at 605, maybe 6. So if we start making new lows on SQQQ, that's when I would be looking to get out. But we'd have to be making new highs on the market for that to happen. So we'll see. I'm expecting that, if you look at the yearly chart, it looks like this dip has only just begun. We typically get a little bit more of a dip than this. Obviously, there have been small dips in the past, but typically you see a little bit of a bigger dip. So we don't really need to watch it too closely unless we really start tanking in the market. Then I might, if the market really tanks hard, then I might look to exit. But Acorn stocks, there are very few people who bought in real low for the stocks that are taking dips. Most have sold long ago. Yeah. Yep. Typically, that ends up being what happens a lot of the time. You end up seeing a pretty big gain on a stock and selling. It looks like gold is doing very well, just moving up and up and up. Let's see what Barrick is doing. GOLD. Barrick back up above $20. So good stuff on Barrick Gold, up 4.89%. Following gold, moving up strongly. So we'll see if we can't get this one to keep pumping. It looks like they had a decent earnings, beat expectations. Good stuff on Barrick Gold. So Carmen says, I bought BKKT, I think is the one. BKKT maybe, really long ago. So yeah, if you bought it really long ago, then you are massively in the money. Depending on how far back it was. 1 year it was at 10, 2 years. Okay, so probably around $10 is where you're talking about then. So there you go. That's a good buy on BKKT. Even though it has dipped recently, it's still up big on it. Still up big. And Penny Smith says, "Thank you, sir. You're welcome, man." And Saucy Fredo, BKKT trying to get up. We'll see if it can. It's up 6.7% on the day. Obviously beating the markets a little bit. The markets are kind of stagnant. They're actually down on the day. If you look where they closed yesterday, they have been trending down in after hours and pre-market, but we'll see what happens with it. This short-term volatility doesn't necessarily indicate much to us. If you look back at the chart from yesterday, you saw some volatility as well, but we'll see what happens, right? Ideally, according to my trading plan, we would start moving down. But it looks like we're moving up. We'll see what happens with it. I'm not too worried about this. Obviously, you don't make money every time you short the market, right? If you look at the past year, the markets have just been going up and up and up. The last time I shorted the market, I made a decent amount, a couple $100. I think buying my short position right here, and then selling around there, I believe. But this might be a different story, right? This might not be as big of a dip. We might be on the uptrend right now. We might have just dipped a little bit on bad inflation numbers, and then people decided to throw their money into the market potentially to protect it from inflation. That's one way to do it. You can potentially do that. I prefer real inflation hedges, not just the market. I like gold. I like silver. Even cryptos are an okay inflation hedge, not the best in my opinion. More of a hypey stock than anything, or more of a hypey play. Cryptos are, but. Soto says, "Any stock that you recommend?" Well, I don't recommend any stocks, but there are a couple of stocks that I like. First, if you're interested in an inflation hedge, I like gold. Not gold literally. Well, I like gold literally, but also I tend to prefer the miners. So Barrick Gold right here, we're actually up 4% on the day. You can see we've had a rocky year because gold has been falling. People haven't been seeing as much inflation as we've expected, but over the past 2 years doing decently well, and it looks like we may be starting a big uptrend right now. So I like gold. Not recommending anyone buy these. I'm just telling you guys what I like. And Sundial, obviously, right? We just got a big legalization bill that's going to be introduced later this month into the House, and we have been pumping up on that over the past couple of days. We'll see. Obviously, we've fallen dramatically over the past 2 years. Over the past 1 year, we're up pretty big, but nowhere near the all-time highs that we've seen of the pump that we got off of really, it was a mixture of things, right? It was partly the GameStop meme stock craze. A lot of people were getting into cannabis stocks as well. In addition, this stock was also doing well because in the elections, a lot of Democrats took over. They took over the House, Senate, and the presidency, right? So this was moving up big on potential legalization in the near term, which, it looks like it was a bit early for that, right? It obviously didn't happen, but now we're getting talks about it again. So we'll see what happens with Sundial. I like Sundial also. And Vu says Evergrand officially defaults. Let's pull that up. Evergrand Defaults. Just got the news, so Evergrand. Evergrand avoids, let's see, over the past 24 hours. Okay, 25 minutes ago from DPA International press release. China Evergrande Group. Evergrande officially defaulted. DMSA is preparing bankruptcy proceedings against Evergrande Group. So, wow, China Evergrande Group today again defaulted on interest payments to international investors. DMSA itself is invested in these bonds and has not received any interest payments until today's end of the grace period. Now DMSA is preparing bankruptcy proceedings against Evergrande and calls on all bond investors to join in. Wow. So that is definitely not good for the markets, right? A lot of people had money in Evergrande, obviously. We heard about this issue a bit ago, so people have had some time to prepare. But yeah, 25 minutes ago, they officially defaulted. So that's not great news. That's not great news for the markets. The markets aren't reacting too strongly to it. Maybe some people just haven't heard of it yet, but I assume that the hedge funds and the institutional investors with big money have already. So Prabesh says, how are you, brother? I'm doing great, man. How are you? How are you, man? I am a little tired, I will admit, but I do have a cup of tea with me. So doing good, doing good. And Silver says, this is a freedom play. If you are sick of big tech media, DWAC is an ARC freedom play. November 19th, it rolls over into new symbol. Is it November 19th? Really? Let's see. Let's see. Well, I'll take a look at that later on. I was unaware it was November 19th. That sounds pretty soon. Sounds pretty early. We'll see. Maybe it is. But losing money on NAKD. Anything new, says Ashran Fi Girma. Let's take a look at NAKD. This one was pumping big on EV hype, right? They acquired that EV company. It looks like they're back down below 70, unfortunately. So it was a temporary hype play on NAKD, unfortunately. Good buying signal on SOS. We'll take a look. We'll take a look at SOS. Oh, man, that's tough. Just dropped down below 2, plummeted down to 140. Not ideal stuff right there, but yeah, that's not ideal. I'm wary of those stocks that just tank, right? Typically, something very bad has happened. Why Bitcoin-related and Ethereum-related stock SOS Limited is falling. Okay, so direct offering. They dropped on that partly. Okay, so maybe they just did a direct offering and that might have dropped the stock. Yeah, okay, maybe not the worst news, but not the best. Certainly not to see a drop of this magnitude on a direct offering. Obviously they'll use that cash to improve the business, but I don't like to see a drop of 30% on a direct offering. That's not ideal. So, silver, I think bankers will short physical metals again. Maybe another Christmas buying opportunity like 2015. They might. The markets are certainly manipulated regarding the metals markets. But Acorn sucks. Where do you read that, Silver? And how come tech stock is falling down? So, how come tech is falling? Well, they're only down about 0.5%, but we did get some bad news regarding inflation and jobs. So we'll take a look. Here's the inflation news that came out just earlier today at 8:30. We got inflation annualized of 4.6%, which was higher than expectations, right? We were expecting annualized 4.3% inflation. This is actually, let's take a look at the month-over-month numbers and see what those look like. No, not the year-over-year. We want month-over-month inflation numbers right here. So 0.6% inflation in the month of October, and we were expecting 0.4. So not the best inflation numbers coming out. Obviously, higher inflation isn't great for the economy. We also got higher jobless claims initially than we were expecting, and that breaks a trend of having better than expected, lower than expected jobless claims every month. So, or every week. But we were expecting 265,000 jobless claims, and we actually got 267,000 jobless claims. So, all around, not great reports that we've gotten. However, these came out at 8:30, and we're actually higher than these came out at 8:30, and we're actually exactly where we were at 8:30. So, we'll see if we don't bounce down off of that level, or maybe we'll continue rising. We might continue rising. So, so people are wondering where Silver read about that merger date for DWAC. Yeah, I've not heard about that. I've not heard about that. But Broad Bill Hunter, yeah, that's tremendous. Bought some CRTX over 60% short interest and very low float of 18 million shares. What do you say? Asks Prabesh. Let's look. CRTX. Cortexime. Okay, so they had that big dip in the past, which let's see what that was all about. I forget. We have looked at this one in the past. So on the 26th. Data demonstrated relationship between reductions. That actually seems good. Okay, their Alzheimer's drug fails to meet the main goals. So yeah, we've looked at this one. Let's look at the short interest on it. and see what we've got. So CRTX. Let's see, short interest. Up 1.26%. That's not the one. Where's the Ortex? Here it is. So 57% short interest as a percentage of the free float. That is pretty high. 10 million shares short just about. So yeah, this one's heavily shorted for sure. 90% utilization. So most of the shares that have the ability to be shorted are already short. At least the ones that can legally be shorted. So it could be good. You know, I am pretty wary of stocks that have dropped a ton. You know, the fact that it dropped so much off of the news that its drug had failed means that drug was kind of the main focus of the company. That you know, obviously most of the investors who were in it were counting on that drug being a big deal, and you know, massive volume selling off, 29 million shares trading hands the day that it dropped. Not great to see that. Not great to see that. So maybe we could have a little bit of a squeeze, but to have a squeeze, we would actually need to move up somewhat significantly, right, to get those shorts. Let's see what the data on it is actually. So yeah, it started getting shorted big around when it dropped. So it didn't have a massive short interest. It had a decently large short interest, but those shorts have probably already covered and taken their profits. But most of the shorts are getting in around these cheaper prices. So it would need to rise a bit before shorts really see some pressure. Tesla is ripping so Elon can sell his next chunk. Yeah, that's the idea. So Tesla. There we go. Tesla up 1.96%. Now, the thing is, Elon said he would sell his Tesla shares. He didn't say what he would do with the money. He could certainly just buy them right back. He could do that. And it wouldn't surprise me to see him do that either. You know, he'd have kept his word. He'd pay the taxes on it, but then he could get back into Tesla. Maybe he'd invest some of it in SpaceX. Who knows? All I know is that Elon, I believe, is a minimalist for the most part, right? He lives in a small house. He's not too interested in physical belongings and all that, so I don't know what he's going to spend it on, if not other companies or projects. So Ambition 2020, it's all going down. Housing, everything. It's a 10 to 12-year cycle, way up, then slam, crash down. Hold to your hats, cowboy. Get ready to buy up assets in real estate. Yeah. And Silver, the filing was October 26th. Typically, mergers happen 30 days after filing, but that would put it at Thanksgiving week. Seeking Alpha is about 2 weeks ago. If I was Trump, I'd switch over first week of December as Dems are dealing with spending bills. Maybe. And Ambition 2020, inflation, consumer panic incoming, crash in sight. That's what I'm thinking, that we might be moving down market-wise, right? We'll see. Obviously, we've had a little bit of a buying of this dip. If you look at the 10-day, we haven't quite been crashing as much as we may have expected on that bad inflation and jobless claims news, but we'll see. We'll see. Rob, you ready? 10:15 a.m. What's at 10:15 a.m.? Is that when oil is getting announced? Crude oil inventories? Is that 10:15? I thought that was 10:30. It might be 10:15. I think it's 10:30 though. But crude oil inventories are coming out. Forecasts have 2.15 million barrel change. Oh, Rivian. Oh, yeah. The IPO. Okay, so that's today. That's today. Then that's why we couldn't find the ticker earlier. RIVN. Yep, we were looking at this and it wouldn't pop up. I heard it was IPOing. I thought I had done that yesterday, but I guess it is today. I've not been keeping up with Rivian. I typically don't get in on IPOs. Typically not, but every now and then, freaking thing. There's a fly over here. It's gross. But yeah, Rivian, that is an exciting one. $70 billion market cap to start with, so we'll see if it can maintain that. That's already a very large market cap. Bigger, it might be bigger than Lucid. I can't remember what Lucid is pumped up to. Let's see. I think it's close, at least. LCID. Wow, very close. Almost exactly what Lucid's is. Lucid has a $69 billion market cap, so we'll see what Rivian does. Make money, come on. Maybe, man. I don't know. The EV space is already fairly large, I think. We'll see what they can do. We'll see what they can do. I typically don't buy an IPO. Everyone is on standby. We'll see. Maybe we'll look at Rivian. I'm waiting on it, Joseph. Rivian IPOs are good in some holds. They have served me well. Yeah, they can be. They certainly can be. I'm just a little wary. I like to see what the chart looks like after a couple of days before just jumping in. DWAC was a rare circumstance where I heard about a great catalyst and ended up jumping in early. And you can certainly make a lot of money when you do jump in early like that. I mean, definitely, like if you look at the Robinhood IPO, we'll take a peek at that. Hood. The Robinhood IPO did very well, right? They IPO'd around 38, I think it was. Dipped down to 33 over the first couple of days, but then up to 85. Watched it live. I watched it live way back when, before I was streaming. I watched it, but Robinhood was certainly pumping quite a bit on their IPO, on some Reddit hype as well. But we'll see what Rivian does. It sounds promising. It could be good. And looking at the chart, not the stock chart, but the viewers chart. I have the analytics for the stream over here. It looks like we have 76 viewers and 50 likes. So maybe we could bump that up. Maybe we could get up to 60 likes on this video. We could potentially do that. We'll see. It might be possible if half the people or some of the people even just like the stream. We could get up to 60 likes. And that reminds me, I would like to put up a poll. I do like the polls. Because they're a good way to measure people's interest because a lot of people come and go. But let's see. We can ask about the Rivian IPO. Are you buying the Rivian IPO? There we go. We'll ask that right there, and that poll should show up in just a second. The Rivian IPO. We'll ask if people are buying into it or not. That could be interesting. I mean, maybe people are. All right, so QQQ is continuing to rise, and obviously that means SQQQ is continuing to fall down. 27.50 on it, not the most. Rob, you're such a conservative trader for being so young. I know. I know. I wasn't initially. I used to be really big on options plays and all that, and I realized I lose money when I am not careful with my money. So I definitely try to be careful with it. Definitely try to be careful. Now, cryptos, though. Cryptos are looking promising right now. If you look at Bitcoin, we're making all-time highs. We made it earlier today at 68,744. I'm not buying any more at the highs. If I was going to buy more, I would have done it when we hit around 30,000, but didn't buy more than either. I'm happy with the Bitcoin I bought. I bought it way back before the really big pump. I saw that we were hitting around 15,000, and it looked like a kind of situation where we could be in for a new big run. I ended up buying at 15, and I didn't buy that much. I only bought $500 worth at the time, but it's worth about $2,000 now. So decent buy on the Bitcoin a while ago, actually. Back when it was 15,000. And Ethereum, I think I bought $500 worth of that as well, because I knew that was a big one. Didn't know much about it. Still don't know too much about these projects, but I think I bought it maybe at 2,000 or something like that, somewhere around there. It was bought it a little bit after the Bitcoin. I also bought some Dogecoin at the time, which made a buttload of money, which I ended up selling most of. I still have a little bit of Dogecoin, but Dogecoin, I'm not too sure, right? Are we going to? What do you guys think about Dogecoin? Are we going to see new highs on Dogecoin? I'm not sure. It would be tough. We'd have to get to a very large market cap. Let's see if we have a $30 billion market cap, $35 billion market cap at 27 cents. We'd have to about 4x to get to $1. So we'd need like a $120 billion market cap. That seems pretty high. So ambitions buying Rivian. And Carmen already bought BLZE IPO tomorrow. Okay, let's take a look at BL. Well, I guess we can't take a look at the chart probably. They're IPOing tomorrow, but they are IPOing. So that could be good. Let's see. I don't know if I've heard of Blaze, BLZE. Blaze Minerals Ltd. Okay, no, that's BLZ. Blaze International. I'm not sure. Not sure if I can find that one, but Silver says, after the shorts on margin was stopped, the volume of trading every day of DWAC has been having downwards. On balance, volume is still in the 500 million shares. And Kitchener-Leslie says, why would Brandon extend Executive Order 13848? Is he telling on himself? Let's see what that order is. Let's see. Okay, the sanctions. I see. In the event of foreign interference in a U.S. state election. All right, yep. That's interesting. So, Grim Reaper, Doge to $1. Yeah, I mean, hopefully it will. I'm holding some Doge. I'd be happy if it went to $1. I'm not banking on it, though. I'm not counting on it, but I would be happy to see Doge up at $1. So, let's see what AMC has done. We're down at, we've actually come back nicely, right? We're getting back up, getting close to $40. Hopefully we can maybe get up above it and stay there. We're down a little bit on the day, but not by much. Down about 1%. And Vivi Rivian will drop after the owners took the profit. Yeah, and in a couple weeks, Rivian will drop, says Vivi, and Ambition says, Vivi, correct, in and out. Yeah, nice. Hopefully it will pump, similar to what Robinhood did. If you look at the Hood chart, it is a very impressive chart. They certainly moved up quite a bit. Oftentimes, IPOs do that. They get a lot of hype. Sometimes they don't go that way. If you look at the Coinbase IPO, while technically we did pump up very quickly, very briefly, we moved up from 381 to 429 that day. It was mostly down from there. So we'll see what Rivian can do. We'll see what they can do. Hopefully move up, right? We're hoping for a move up because looks like 22% of the voters are in this poll looking to buy Rivian stock, and 78% are not interested. So Joseph Agnello is starting to look green. Yeah, the markets have just been moving up. We'll see what happens over the next couple of days, right? Every now and then, you just get a little pullback in the markets before moving back on the uptrend. So we'll see what happens. It wasn't the best. News that came out for the markets today. But we'll see what happens. So gold is starting to move down just slightly, right? They're not making new highs on all these bars anymore, right? They were doing that earlier today. Now they're starting to move down a little bit. And Zach Taylor says, remember the last time you saw CPI at 6.2 and the effective Fed funds rate at 0? You don't, because it never happened before. Yeah, that's true. I think that, the inflation isn't looking good. The inflation situation, we've got a lot to worry about inflation-wise. That's why I'm fairly heavily in gold positions, gold mining stocks and all that. As well as cannabis stocks. I think that those could be doing good over the next while. I bought them cheap, so I'm not too worried. The fact that they've been dipping lately over the past couple of months, I'm still in the green on it, so I'm not too worried about it. But I like crypto, but it must be anchored with physical metal holdings, says Silver. Interesting. Do you mean if you had a crypto that was tied to a physical metal in some way? That would be interesting. If you could redeem the crypto for physical metal, that would be a cool one. That would almost just be an effective way of running an ETF. But who knows? Who knows if that would work or not? Maybe not. And what's going on with DWAC? Let's take a look. Doesn't sound good from the look of the comments. Oh, it's actually pretty good. It's pretty good. We're up 4% on the day. Looks like a little pump up. Let's see what's causing this. I mean, we can't see any news that got released right there, but we might be able to find something on Yahoo Finance. Maybe something's come out. Nothing there, and it might just be a trader's move doing this. So let's see if no, it doesn't look like anything. Let's see if we change this the past 24 hours. If anything has come out. Looks like nothing over the past couple of minutes for DWAC, but we certainly are moving up. Up 3% on the day. That's good stuff. Bringing us back above a $500 or $5,000 profit on DWAC. So that's nice to see. Happy with that. And I like crypto, but it must be anchored to physical metals. Yep. And Tomcat says gold hasn't been a very good hedge against inflation as the gold selling commercial is hyped the past few years. Yeah, you do see. I see some gold selling commercials. I see some gold buying commercials though. Also, though the commercials really aren't what we're banking on to move the price up a ton, right? We're not banking on individual retail people to move the price up massively. I'm worried about big whales coming in and buying up a ton of gold because they want to protect massive amounts of capital. That's what could really move the price up, right? Because the individuals who are buying a couple thousand here and there, sure, it can affect the price, but 1 ounce gone here and there isn't going to make the biggest difference. In fact, that's what we're already seeing, right? We're already seeing people, buying gold at the shop down the street, and that's why the premiums are so large on it, right? It actually costs a lot more to get physical gold than the spot price because there is not a surplus of it. That's for sure. There's really more of a shortage of physical gold, but what would really get the price moving is if big whales started buying up the futures and actually wanted to take delivery and all that. So Zach Taylor, the Fed hates private crypto and could crash it very quickly with regulations. Yellen has strongly hinted at it several times. Yeah, that would be bad for cryptos. That would be bad for cryptos probably if they started getting regulated, right? Part of the beauty of cryptos is that they're not very regulated and people can pump them up as much as they want. And, well, let's look at the price. Let's look at the chart for Bitcoin and see what happens when there's no regulation, right? When you aren't regulated and people can just buy up assets, even supposedly worthless assets, as much as they want. It looks like the price just goes up and up and up without those regulations. So, I mean, Bitcoin's been doing pretty well. Obviously, it's an innovative. It's based on an innovative technology, based on the blockchain. But without the regulation, it seems like they've done pretty well. I would almost hate to see what could happen to it if the government got involved. That wouldn't be good, most likely. And Jack Taylor says DWAC, the new inflation hedge. It might be. That might be where people throw their money. Anything can act as an inflation hedge. It just depends on what people decide to use. So no reason it has to be gold. It could be any asset. It could be Pokemon cards or whatever. If people decide that that's a means of exchange, a means of storing value, then that could be it. So it certainly could be DWAC. But looking at Ape Wisdom, we are looking at this just because I do like to keep up to date on what's trending on Reddit. It looks like Tesla is still number one. A lot of people probably talking about Elon selling his Tesla shares. And Tesla, if we take a look, is soaring, right? Up 4% on the day. We had a big red day yesterday. A lot of people probably sold. I mean, potentially this was Elon selling. Maybe even all of his shares. I don't know, or not all of his shares, but all of the shares that he promised to sell. That might have been it when he sold near the open and throughout the rest of the day. Let's see, that's 6.6 million shares. Obviously not all of it was Elon, but if we do the math on that, let's do the math. 6.6 million, so 6.6 million times 1,000. Then that's about $6.6 billion. Okay, that was actually easy math. We didn't even need a calculator for it, but 6 billion is probably getting to a significant chunk of what Elon is going to be selling, right? I think let's see. I wonder what his actual Tesla holdings are. I believe he has a lot in Tesla, but part of his net worth is in SpaceX as well. So let's look at billionaire's net worth. Let's see if we can't get back to that chart with the richest people in the world. So, no, we don't want richest actors. No. We want world's richest people. Let's see. Why are we having trouble finding this chart? Live list. Really, now Google really wants to show me the world's richest actors, and I do not want that. The Bloomberg bill. Okay. This is good. This is good right here. This is fine. But Elon Musk has $288 billion net worth. The last change was minus 35 billion when Tesla sank, but still up on the month. So not bad for Elon, all things considered. He's been doing relatively well. But if he's selling 10% of his Tesla's probably close to 90% of his net worth. I mean, I can't imagine, SpaceX is worth something, but Tesla is worth a buttload. And he certainly owns a lot. So, maybe he's going to be selling like $20 billion worth of Tesla. So, maybe he sold it like half of it over the course of yesterday. Who knows? It's tough to say. But he's letting the price go back up, right? He's not shocking the market too much. So Tesla saving the markets today, says Zach. Yeah, it is. It is actually. The markets are moving with Tesla, from the look of it. So we'll see what happens. I mean, it's almost exactly the same, right? Maybe Tesla's moving with the markets, but it looks more like the markets are moving with Tesla. So, which is unfortunate. We are down probably at this point $45. So not the largest amount capital-wise, right? We're more swing trading SQQQ. So we'll see what happens over the next couple of days if this is a sustained drop in price and if we end up making new lows. Hopefully not, though. Joseph Agnello says, I don't believe it. Bill Gates still number one. Well, Bill Gates certainly owns more important assets, right? He is pretty well diversified. Elon Musk, the thing is, most of his net worth is coming from Tesla stock. And, it's a good company, but it's one company. And if anything happened to the price of it, well, we just saw something happen to the price, and we'll pull up the chart of these richest people again. But you see minus $35 billion, right? Bill Gates owns a lot of farmland. His change was minus 329 million yesterday. So though he only has 138 billion, he has a lot of really important assets, like a lot of farmland, and is diversified in other companies. So Ambition 2020 says, I need Tesla to drop so I can get more. Yeah, that would be nice. That would be nice. What price would you be looking to buy it? I don't know. I was buying it when it was around 700 something, 770, 780 maybe there. Or actually before that, maybe 750. Somewhere around there is when I was really buying up my Tesla, but I don't know if I want to pay that much more for it, right? If I want to pay more than 900, I would like us to drop down below 900. That would be nice. That would be a good buy if we could get it down that low. Thank you, Elon, for providing this opportunity to us, right? Tesla was getting a little too frothy, a little too high. But we'll see. So Silver says, Bulls versus Bears on DWAC. Deep pocket movers. Would love to see Trump pull a Billy Ray and Louis Trading Places move on shorts. Yeah, that'd be interesting. I'm sure, once DWAC has fully completed the merger, I'm sure he'll want the price to go up of his company, right? Trump Media and Technology Group. I'm sure he'll want that stock to go up because that would be directly tied to his net worth. So he might pull an Elon and be, if he's not allowed on Twitter, he might be tweeting on True Social about the stock, and he might be moving it up a little bit. So it could be a good one over the long term. Just not even off the fundamentals, but I mean, who knows what those are going to look like? But just off of the potential hype and the amount of people that might be buying into it, it could be a good one over the long term. So I'm in at 700 now, says Ambition, and yes, below 900. Yep, I agree with that. So any news on OCGN? We'll take a peek. OCGN. We'll see how they're doing. It looks like the face cam had turned off, but that's fine. So OCGN. Let's see. Don't believe there's any news on OCGN. No. So the last thing that happened was their earnings on the 9th yesterday. And they had some volatility around it, but it looks like they may have bottomed out at $9, right? 9 has acted as a fairly solid support. We've broken down below it a couple of times, but haven't been able to maintain level below it. Obviously, that's only been being acted on yesterday and today. So we'll see. I mean, we thought the same thing might have been happening with 10. We did stay there for a couple of days before breaking down below. But I'm not sure how much more downwards potential we've got on OCGN, right? We've already fallen quite a bit down off the highs of 1880 on good news, right? So I'm not so sure that it should be down at 9. We'll see what happens with it. It's already pretty low. it was around there 30 days ago, and they did get emergency use listing for their vaccine. So we'll see what happens with it. But is really DWAC having law problems? Is it the right time to invest? And do we have any idea about when Truth will be launched? So I think they said in 2022 is when Truth will be launched. And they'll potentially be having some legal issues, especially with the code of Truth Social. It looks like it's running on Mastodon code right now, which is open source, and that means they'll either have to reveal their source code as part of the licensing agreement to be using Mastodon's code, or they'll have to stop using Mastodon's code. Then they might decide to do nothing and get sued over it. That could be another potential. That's another potential outcome of that lawsuit or potential lawsuit. So Joe says, is the SBEA BRCC merger being investigated? I solicit your comments. Thanks. I do not know if it's being investigated. I think actually may have heard something about that. Let's see. Okay. Yep. Let's see. So Brodsky and Smith announced an investigation of Silverbox, engaged merger core. Let's see. Claims against the board of directors for possible breaches of fiduciary duty and other violations of federal and state law in connection with the merger agreement. Let's see. Why are they investigating? Investigation concerns whether Silverbox breached its duties to shareholders by failing to conduct a fair process, including the dilution of ownership interest in the combined company. I'm not too worried about this. But let's see, they'll retain ownership of only 18% of the combined company. So I think they're just complaining that maybe they're saying Silverbox shareholders should have gotten a little bit more of Black Rifle, and that they didn't do a good job. But the thing about SPACs is you don't really have that much to lose with SPACs if you're buying them at $10, because you can always back out of the deal when the merger actually goes through at $10. So maybe they breached their duty. We'll see what the outcome of the lawsuit is, but this doesn't look like the kind of thing that should be too bearish for Black Rifle, right? It's not actually a lawsuit against them; it's just against the merger corp. So, not too worried about it. Zach Taylor, off to work today. Have a great day today, everyone. Don't forget to hit that like button. I appreciate that, Zach. Have a nice time at work. Have a good one, man. And let's see, Kitchen Leslie. Patrick Orlando is the link between DWAC and BENE. And Silver says, Bill Gates, Warren Buffett, and Cheney are building a power plant in Wyoming. Okay. Truth beta in November. Truth live is February. Nice. So yeah, the beta might be coming out soon. It might be coming out sometime this month. That's the word on the street. And the market has just been moving straight up. We're down only 0.08%. Surprising stuff. We'll see if that can maintain itself, but that's not what we were looking for today. Granted, the day has only begun. We'll see. Maybe we'll get a little nice bounce off of 395 to the downside on the markets. We'll see what happens though. Strange, it's strange to be rooting for the markets to move down, but every once in a while you got to do it, right? This does look like the potential situation where we might be dipping a little bit more, right? Just a little green bar doesn't necessarily mean we're on the recovery, but we'll see. Obviously, the markets have been doing incredibly well over the past year, right? Basically all green, and this might just be a little blemish in them, right? It might not actually lead to any big dip. Despite the inflation news and all that. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. PHUN starting to run. Well, let's take a look at DWAC and where it's at. So, okay. It's been doing good. Getting back up above 60, it looks like. And PHUN is likely following suit. Yep. Following DWAC. Nice. So we're up above 4 with PHUN. We're staying above 4 somewhat healthily, right? We haven't dropped down below since our big rally up to 5. And that's good stuff to see with PHUN. And they've got their earnings coming out tomorrow, so we'll see what happens. And Silver says, just found your channel today, doing great work. Keep it up. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Glad you found us. we'll probably be starting up a Discord at some point because it's definitely useful having all of you guys in the chat pointing stuff out. And it's unfortunate that we only do this for about 2 hours a day. We only do these live streams from around 9 to 11. So it would certainly be nice to have a Discord where 24/7, no matter what's going on in the market, we can all contact each other. That'd be good. So at some point, we'll definitely look into starting up a Discord or something like that. Some means of communication outside of YouTube. Because this is nice, but once again, only 2 hours a day, and the markets are open for a lot longer than that. Not to mention crypto open 24/7. So there's always a lot going on with crypto, but we'll see what happens with it. I'm not sure how much further this rally can go. People are calling for Bitcoin to go to 100,000. They've been calling for that for a long time, though, so we'll see. Obviously, some people are calling for Bitcoin 1 million. I don't know about that. I believe that would mean we would have to have, let's see, what would that be if we're more than 10x or about 20x? So we'd have a $30 trillion market cap. That would be massive, and that would be absolutely massive. Ambition 2020 says like and subscribe all. That would be nice. That would be nice if everyone heeded Ambition's call and liked and subscribed. That would be good. I have a feeling a lot of the people here already have. We've got 65 viewers and 69 likes, so more likes than viewers already. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Not going to complain about that. Looks like we might be having a little bit of a dip in the market, though. Maybe a bounce off of 395. We'll see. Obviously, the market is not afraid to make V-like shapes, and it's certainly not afraid to make inverted V shapes. So we've seen it before. It might be happening right now. We're getting a little bit of downwards pressure. We'll see if the market starts moving down even more than this, right? It's already a somewhat significant bounce off of 395. What's Tesla doing? Tesla has been leading the market today. Tesla's bouncing down off 1070 also. So looks like the whole market might be on the move down. We'll see, though. Gold and silver. What's silver up to? Silver up 2.7% on the day. That's good stuff. Let me check the Robinhood because that's where I have most of my gold and silver. Let's see. Okay. We're up about 3K on the day in the Robinhood. Nice. A lot of that on gold calls. Okay. Cool. So the bid is 32, ask is 39. Nice. So yeah, gold is doing good again. Gold's doing good for us. We'll see how much further we can get gold going. I'm looking at the gold chart like this. So the gold chart way back, let's pull it back 2 years. Got up above 2K. We'll pull up the spot price of gold too. Because this chart doesn't outline the spot price of gold, but where's Kitco? Here it is. So we're at 1858 right now. That matters a little bit more than the prices that you see on the gold ETF, but I believe above $180 is where we're above 2K on gold. So you can see gold's sitting between 1858 and 1859 right now, between that bid and ask, but above 180, gold is looking really good, right? Because gold definitely has the potential for a massive breakout. If you look at the max chart that we've got for gold, when we do break out past these resistance levels, we can actually go on massive runs that last for several years. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. If we could potentially break out of this, right? The last time that we were near that level was back in 2008. 2011, actually. 2008 was the beginning of the bull rally. Right. So 2011 is where we ended up hitting those highs. And we might be seeing a similar pattern, right? The disaster in 2008 and 2009 led to gold rising for many years after that. So maybe the disaster of 2020 and 2021 will lead to gold rising for many years after that. We'll have to see what happens with it. Obviously, getting past 180 is the first step, and then making new highs at 195. That would be nice. So, Noble H, hey Rob, how you doing? I'm doing good, man. I've got a little tea with me right here. How are you though? And PFMT And Ambition, we will look at PUBS in a second. PFMT, can you take a look when you have a minute? Up a little off ER yesterday. Okay, PFMT. So let's get out of this really long-term chart. So yeah, up 5%. Interesting. They dipped down massively on earnings and then started moving up. So Performant Financial. Let's take a look at a couple different things. PFMT on Ortex, first of all. We'll also look at it on Market Watch and see what they've got, because I've not heard of this company until now. So let's see. On Ortex, it pulled up Pinnacle Foods. This is a NASDAQ. Performant Financial. There we go. So they engage in the provision of technology-enabled audit, recovery, customer care, and related analytics services. Its service helps identify improper payments and, in some markets, restructure and recover delinquent or defaulted assets and improper payments for both government and private clients. Interesting. Okay, so what's the market cap on this one? And not too heavily shorted if we are looking at not too heavily shorted. So not a short squeeze play. Only 3% of the free float is shorted, so it's a decent company, it sounds like, right? Typically, you see much larger short percentages on bad companies. So $219 million market cap. It's small. That's promising. And over the past year, has been doing incredibly well. That's good to see. So past 2 years, yep, it looks like we'd stagnated, and then we started doing incredibly well. And this earnings is pumping us up a little bit. So not a bad one to be in at all. We'll obviously have some resistance at 5 when we get there. That's what we saw triple top on last time. 1, 2, and 3 times we tried to break through 5. Technically 4 if you count these as individual times. But yeah, this is a promising one. Looks like we maybe found some support at 3 and are bouncing up off of that. Good technical aspect to it. But as for the fundamentals, obviously, I can't dive too deeply into those. But they're looking good from a technical standpoint. I like it. And I don't know too much about the profitability of financial auditing, recovery and customer care and all that. Not sure how big of a market that is since I'm not a bank, but it seems like the kind of thing that there could be a decently sized market for. So let's see. You're good. And another day, another Doug. Sipping on Starbucks chai tea latte. Nice. Let's see. So I wasn't sure if it was a sell or long play. Appreciate the info. Yeah, I mean, it looks like a decent long play up over the past year. It's been doing really well, and we're bouncing nicely off of 3. If we did break that, maybe it would be time to get out. But that's not not advice, just my opinion on it. If I were in on it, that's what I would be looking to do probably. But Ambition asked about PUBS. We will now look at PUBS. PUBS. We can't find the symbol. No symbol for PUBS, Ambition. Is it a crypto? We'll see. Maybe we could find the crypto PUBS. No result. Nothing exists. Nothing exists under the ticker PUBS, Ambition, unfortunately. Silver. My confidence in DWAC needs to hit $70 by Friday, making its way to $90 next week. I hope. And PROG. Let's take a look at PROG. Taken off, apparently. 370. Nice. Blasted through 350, blasted through 360. We're on our way. We're up. $165 on the day on PROG. Nice. So there we go. PROG is doing good, and PUBM is the correction. Okay, PUBM. Let's take a look. Pubmatic Inc. up 28% on the day. Not bad. PUBM. Pubmatic. Let's see. We'll look at the Ortex data for this one as well. So, let's see. Decently large short interest. Okay, so 11% of the shares are short, so we might start to see a couple, and shorts are actually starting to cover a little bit today. So it must have been some kind of fundamental news that came out for them, something good. Okay, so they raised their revenue guidance, and market said lower, inflation rates up. What do they do? What are they? What kind of company are they going to be rising off of inflation news? Let's see. So, engaged in the provision of specialized cloud infrastructure platform for advertising transactions. Its technology and infrastructure caters both internet content creators and advertisers. It operates through the following geographical segments. Those don't matter. Okay, so helps content creators and advertisers. Interesting. Not heard of them before, but $1.62 billion market cap over the past year. Ooh, they were suffering over the past year. They found support around 25, though, and now they're on the way up, right? Looks like this earnings call really helped out, raising the revenue guidance. So they had a much better earnings than was expected. They were expected to get 8 cents per share, got 24. They're on the rise. Resistance might be, well, I would have set at 40. Looks like we're above that right now. We're getting pretty close, so maybe 43 is where we last kind of got pushed back. But we'll see. We're getting close, and we have risen a bunch already. We're seeing a little bit of resistance at 42, actually. Really struggling to break through that, but if we can do it, I mean, sky's the limit on this one. It's all-time highs. We're at 76, so not saying we can get there today, but over the next couple of days, I mean, now that they were valued at that at one point, and the fact that their earnings are actually better now, it sounds like, it could be good for them. So that could be good. Obviously, some of the shorts, if we keep rising, might get squeezed out a little bit. It's not an insignificant short percentage. 2 million shares being shorted, and that is 11% of the free float. So the fact that they've risen on good fundamental news, the shorts might not be interested in buying the stock that is now in an uptrend, right? They might have maybe they were buying in hoping to get some profit while it was moving down, and now that has ended, bounced off of 2023, I think it quite nicely, 23, 24, 25, somewhere around there. Then maybe shorts are looking to exit. Maybe we could see a little bit of not a massive short squeeze, but maybe a continuation in the appreciation of price. That could be good. Stock Radar, AQST keeps going up 2% today. Going to see 50% a day soon. Huge FDA coming. Okay, Stock Radar, that's right. We will, later today, that's what I'll do. I will look at AQST. It looks promising, right? It does look promising. I will definitely look at AQST. I'll make an AQST video later today, I promise. How about that? We'll cover it. I have been saying I would do that for a while, and it just keeps slipping my mind, but I will try and remember today. The goal will be to do a deep dive into AQST and see what they've really got going on for them, because they do, it is promising, right? They have just been moving up and up and up, basically all green every day. There have been two red days in the past month just about. So that's good stuff for AQST. And we'll look into their FDA approval pretty soon, so we'll look into that. Silver, compare metal charts from 2015 to now. Any patterns? Let's see. GLD for the max 2015. 2015 looks like we were just trending down, and then saw a big spike up in price. Kind of. Yeah, it looks like we had just been moving down, and then if we could break this high, like I was saying earlier, that would be really good. If we could break the high, that would be incredible. That could really launch us into a big bull run for gold. And let's see what silver had going on. 2015, it was kind of similar. This may be the bottom, right? This may be the bottom that we just reached over here. This may be the bottom of the V, and we may be on the way up to new highs. Hopefully with silver, silver could go quite a bit higher. It's a great industrial metal, and you can see that on this chart at least, where we're currently sitting at $23 silver, not the spot price, but $23 silver in this ETF. We were at one point at $48 silver. So I'd like Tesla to buy Ford. That would be cool. That would certainly give them a bit more of a fundamental valuation, right, for why they are where they are, because then they would be one of the largest car companies if they had both Tesla and Ford. That would be awesome. So let's go PROG running. Let's take a peek at PROG. Up to 370. Yeah, PROG's been doing good. We were looking at PROG a bit ago. Doing really well. Happy to see that it's back up above 360. That's great stuff. And they've got their earnings coming out. Maybe someone knows something. Maybe a whale knows something about their earnings and is expecting good news. Who knows? That could be good. That could be good stuff. Okay, so Silver says the future is not just gas or electric, it's both, similar to why beer companies are buying marijuana companies. Yeah. And vice versa. Marijuana companies are buying liquor companies. At least the Canadian ones are. So yeah, I agree. I think that that's a great combination of business models, especially if you made some kind of drink that was infused with cannabis extract or something like that and alcohol. That would be very cool. I think that would get a lot of people buying it. Might not be the safest thing to do all the time, but you could certainly get a lot of people buying it. That's for sure. Progenity up 8%. Yes, it is. Up 9% now. Hero. It's up 9% now. So, now it's up 8, up 9. It's flickering between the two. Hopefully we'll make new highs today. At least new highs on the day, right? Get back up above 384. That would be nice to see. So Nacho Libre, your thoughts on CEI stock? We used to cover that one a lot. It hasn't been doing great lately, though. Ever since Zach Morris kind of forsook it or has forsaken it, it's been doing kind of poorly. So with CEI, I think what we would really like to see is Zach Morris tweeting about it again. And he hasn't tweeted about it in a bit, at least not to my knowledge. Let me take a look and just check to make sure on Twitter if Zach Morris has tweeted about it. So Ari Molly, good morning, Rob. Do you still watch BKKT? I will take a look at BKKT. I watch whatever you guys would like. So I will take a look at that in just a minute. And good morning to you as well. So Zach Morris, the greatest pumper of all time. At least that's what he says. So looks like CEI. No mentions of CEI lately for Zach Morris. So I think that's what would really get CEI moving. That's what really helped us out the last time when we were pumping up big. Zach Morris was tweeting about this thing, pumping it up. So that's what we want. So Noble H is excited to see Nacho Libre. And Ari Molly, BKKT, we'll take a peek at it. We looked at it a little bit earlier today. Bacht Holdings. So yeah, we were talking about this back when it was below 31, and we said if we could break through 31, that might be the next leg, and it looks like that was the case. So if we pull this back 10 days, we broke through 31 in a big way and got up to highs of $50.80. Now we're back below 31. That might be the end for BKKT, right? Might be the end. I've not kept up too much with the catalysts. To participate in 3 upcoming investor conferences they announced today at 8, so they're up 4.2%. So that could be good, actually. That could be good. Bacht Holdings will offer users partners ability to buy, sell, hold Ethereum networks, Ether cryptocurrency. Okay. And let users trade Ethereum cryptocurrency. Shares rise pre-bell. Nice. So that was on the 5th. All right. So Forsook checks out. Yeah. Thank you. Forsook. There we go. I was pretty sure that was right. I was pretty sure. Nice. So thank you, Kitchener Leslie. But BKKT, what we're going to want to see is back up above 31. That's what we're looking for with BKKT. If we can do it, then we can continue potentially this bullish run that we've experienced. But if not, it's understandable, right? It's already risen a ton since it really started taking off, and we do have earnings coming up, so we'll see. I'm not sure if those crypto companies, the new ones at least, are the most profitable quite yet. Maybe in the future, people are expecting big profitability. We'll have to see at the earnings call, though. So that's on the 12th, and hopefully we can see some profitability with them. If not, then maybe it's more of a buy and hold over the long term. But over 31, there is the potential for some big volatility. So that's what I would be looking for. Either great earnings news or just a technical play on them if they can get over 31 again. That was where they got stopped out last time, and when they got past that, they were on a big run up. So we'll see what happens with them. Please, PHUN, run. And Silver says, do you dividend invest? I do, with a small portion of my portfolio. I will explain that in just a second after I look at PHUN. PHUN's doing good, up 3.92%. Leads me to believe DWAC is doing well, also up 5.83%. So yeah, PHUN, I'll pull up right here for those of you who are interested, is basically mirroring DWAC as usual, right? They're both doing pretty well. And Silver asks, do I dividend invest? Yes, I do. So not too much, right? Because dividends, typically, at least, I'm young enough. I don't need the income. from dividends, and I'd rather get the potential growth from more risky stocks, right? From growth companies that are not yet paying dividends. I'd rather that they just reinvest the money into that than give me some money to reinvest. So I do dividend invest, but only with a small, only about 5% of my portfolio is in dividends. But what I do buy dividend-wise, I'll point out the main stocks. Gain, they're mostly REITs, right? I really like these REITs because they do give me some real estate exposure, and they've done very well over the past year. Pretty much everything's done very well over the past year, but I bought them. I had owned them long ago in the past, and I actually sold them before COVID, and then I bought back at pretty cheap, I think, around $8 or $9 around there. Is where I bought Gain. It's at $16.66 right now, and it pays out a decent dividend every month. So decent dividend on this one. They haven't raised it by too much over the past while, but hopefully they will soon, right? The stock is valued much higher, so maybe they'll raise rents on their properties. Maybe they'll do that. Also, Maine, another REIT, another real estate investment trust. So they also pay out a monthly dividend, and I like those monthly dividend payers. The REITs are very cool because it's almost like owning a small rental property, right? You can put as much as you want into the rental, and you don't have to do any work. You don't have to worry about tenants or anything like that or anything going wrong. Granted, the stock price can fall if stuff does go wrong and they don't handle it well, but it does pay you out essentially rent every month, right? If you only have, we'll look at Gain. If you only have $16 to put into it, then you can buy $16 of a rental property essentially, and then get 7 cents every month. Now, if you multiply that, well, I think the rate is let's see, so 16 divided by 0.07. So, or we did that backwards. We want 0.07 divided by 16. So about a 4% payment. Oh, we'll multiply that by 12. So times 12. All right, so about 5.25%. 5.25% dividend yield over the course of the year. So if you say put in $100,000, you'd be getting $5,000 yearly. So not bad, not bad. I mean, you got to buy a house for more than $100,000. Granted, you can take a mortgage out on it and put in less, but there are expenses associated with home ownership, like property tax and all that. And it really simplifies the process. If you don't have a lot of time to be investing in real estate yourself and actually doing those deals, then the REITs are very convenient. So I definitely like REITs for that. So silver, I think big hedges and banks short silver to 20. We'll see. I mean, hopefully not. Silver, it looks like it's been moving up today, even up 3%. So we're kind of sitting around. Yeah, we're kind of sitting around. I hope that the big banks don't do it. I hope they don't. Noble. So I've seen that movie so many times. It's like a reflex. I don't know if I've seen it. That's the one with Jack Black, isn't it? Nacho Libre. I'm pretty sure. Let me look that up. I'm pretty sure that's the Jack Black movie. Yep, it is. It is. I haven't watched it though. It always looked cool, but I've never seen it. So Lamar Loves You says, "Can you take a peek at AQST?" I will, and I will make a video about AQST later today. I will do that. So I will do a deep dive on AQST. But from the look of it, it's been pointed out to me that they're trending up. That the short data on AQST, let's take a look real quick, is decent. It's decent short data. It's not as decent as we were hoping for. Large amount of days to cover, but mostly because I think AQST has very low volume, typically, but small percentage of the free float being shorted. So I will do a dive. Yeah, really low float. Okay, I see. So let's look at the AQST float. AQST. So the public float is 37 million shares, and okay. So yeah, pretty low float, and it definitely it could move up. It certainly could. Only a $250 million market cap, so still a low market cap. And if they get that FDA approval, then things are looking good for AQST. So I will be back, guys. One moment. Quick bathroom break. I need to refill my water real quick. I'll be right back. All right, I am back. So, I forgot to change the poll. You know, the whole time we've had this poll up, it's been about the Rivian IPO. I will fix that real quick because we don't need that up the entire time. So let me end that poll. Now, what else was going on today? We'll ask about the market crash. Do you guys think the market is about to drop? I will ask you guys that in the poll because I am curious about that. So, do you think the market will drop over the next, let's say, month? Yes, 10% plus. And then we'll do a yes, 5%. Yes. No. There we go. And we'll add in a yes. We'll add in a yes 20% plus. How about that? We'll give people some options. So yes, and then we'll do 10% here. And yes, but not much. Sorry, these polls take a second to type out. And no, I just want to make sure everything is spelt correctly. How about that? All screens gone, Ambition? Are the screens gone? All right, well, hopefully this makes it work. Yeah, sorry, I still have my key bindings set to 1, 2, and 3 when I'm changing the screen a bit, because sometimes I'm typing numbers in the poll, so it does change the look of the screens, just temporarily, though, hopefully. So I think it's gotten back. Yep, nice. So DWAC. Let's see. So we're only up 3% now. It looks like we've, along with PHUN, been dipping just a touch, getting bumped down below 60. But you know what? Nothing to complain about the fact that we're at 60. And you can actually see that just today we had a nice bounce off of 55.05 with DWAC. So nice. Used that support very well. Got us back up above 60 very temporarily. We're going to see if we can't regain that level. So Silver says rental companies gobbling up most homes in Memphis. Sold mine in August to an out-of-state investor who rolled it into a management company that pays him so he doesn't have to maintain it. Yeah, that's a good way to go about it. You don't want to, at a certain point, manage every property yourself. I manage one right now, and it's a little tedious at times. So, a little tedious. So Ambition says, "Oh, I see. Yeah. So I do need to get something, some kind of a clicker or something that has the key binding set specifically just to change the camera view, and isn't tied to anything on the keyboard that I might be typing out." So we'll see. Hopefully I'll figure something out for that, because we have had a couple of times when the camera has just been on the face cam, or when the face cam has been gone entirely and it's just been the screens, just because I've been typing something in the chat or online searching for something. Kevin Knight, you're awesome, kid. Rising star for sure. Keep up the good work. Definitely, man. Definitely. I am trying my best on this whole YouTube thing. So Doug, it must be wonderful to be rich like you. I'm not rich. I'm definitely not rich. I don't think you're really rich until you have at least $1 million. I think $1 million is when you can start calling yourself pretty wealthy, but maybe not even rich then. And I definitely don't have $1 million. Definitely don't have $1 million. So Good Calm Property Management REIT Dividend Buddy said most folks won't own but rent now. Yeah. Unfortunately, it looks like U.S. might be turned into a nation of renters. Very different story in China, right? China has a huge emphasis on home ownership, and a lot of people in China are willing to pay any price for a home, essentially, to the point where I think the reason I was looking into this was because of Evergrand, right? They're a real estate developer, and people in China have been willing to pay about 50 times their annual salary for homes, right? That's what homes cost in China, because they're so expensive, and home ownership is such a big deal, and there's so many people that people have to take out these massive mortgages on homes. And in the U.S., I think it's 3 or 4 times your annual salary what people typically pay for a house. So Ambition 2020 says no, at least 10 million to be rich. Yeah, probably something closer to that to really be considered rich, right? You probably need something closer to that. At 1 million, though, you can kind of stop worrying about things, though. For the most part, you don't have to worry too much because, even if you're living a pretty nice lifestyle, you've still got at least 10 years of no work to be done, right? If you just decide to live off the money. And Kitchener Leslie says BlackRock is buying all of our property. Yep, they certainly are. Home values are going up. We'll see if that continues. Hopefully not. It would be nice to have a little bit of a dip in home prices, actually. In the next year or two, that would be nice. So, Wisdom, let's see. What's going on StockTwits? What's the number one stock? Looks like the most active are AMC and Tesla, and Loopring Crypto is up 48% on the day. That could be an interesting one to check out. No, you still worry at a couple of mil. Retirement kids bucket list. That's true. Yeah, I'm thinking from my perspective, I'm not there yet. I don't have the kids or don't need to worry about retirement for a while. So yeah, you definitely still worry, but the day-to-day worry of what if I stop making money? Well, I guess that kind of disappears when you have a decent amount, when you have a couple thousand. But a lot of people are living paycheck to paycheck, and that's when there really is a lot of worry. When you're worried, will I be able to get food next week if I lose my job or something like that? That's when people are really worried. I'm not worried about that kind of stuff, but at a couple million, or at 1 million even, I would be less worried than I am just about the future, right? Still a little worried at the moment, but not too worried. Most of my worries have dissipated over the past year or two as things have gone well market-wise and stock-wise. But what was I looking at? Loopring Crypto. That's what we wanted. Let's see. Loopring. LRC, number 43. It is up 52% over the past 24 hours, and over the past month, it's up quite a bit. It was at 35 cents, and now it's at 3.55. So it's 10x'd over the past 30 days. It looks like it's just shot up in price. What is the story on this? What is the story? So let's see if we can't find something. All right. So Loopring suggests GameStop has bigger plans for crypto and NFTs. Leak in the Loopring GitHub public repository shows a partnership deal with GameStop for an NFT marketplace that could be on the cards. The post Loopring GitHub suggests GameStop has bigger plans for the crypto and NFTs. Appeared first on Crypto Slate. So that's interesting. And Kitchen Leslie says, "Rich depends on how old you are and what your lifestyle is." Definitely. So Steve Gentile says, "Hi Rob, thoughts on SENS running nicely?" Yeah, we'll take a peek at SENS. Up to $4. Okay, that's the highest we've gotten, up 6%. It is running nicely. We'll see if we can break out past 4. That's where we've seen massive resistance in the past. So that's really probably what will determine whether we can break out. Granted, we just had a good earnings call. We were expected to lose 6 cents per share. We made 8 cents per share. If there was ever a time that we were going to be moving up, this seems like it, right? Past 4. That would be good to see. Because we have gotten stopped out just a couple of times. This I would even count getting stopped at 4 almost as well. Very close to it, right? We saw some resistance right at 4, and then we temporarily broke out and got shot off at 550. So not quite at 4, but the past couple of times we've definitely been trying to break through 4 and haven't been able to do it. So if we could get up above 4, that would be very nice to see with SENS. That could be a good one. Of 6%, we're very close. We've been touching it. We've touched it today. And we've touched it a couple of times. We're going to see if we can't break through it. That would be nice to see. I know a lot of people would probably be happy with that. We could be making all-time highs if we get through 4 on this good earnings news. So, news about DWAC, says Vivi. I don't believe there was news today, right? We are up 3%, but it looks like more of a technical move, right? We bounced off of 55.05, which was important support for us. If you look over the past 30 days, you can see that we've bounced off of 550 or 55 a couple of times right there. Then here as well, we bounced off and actually did better on this bounce, right? We bounced off of 55 and ended up going up to 67. Today, we only went up to 61 at the high, 61.66. So no news that I've heard of today. But all in all, not a bad day. Up 3.5%. Can't complain about that. Getting close to 60. Maybe we'll top 60 by the end of the day. We might make new all-time highs. We'll see. It looks like we're on a little uptrend right now. A nice healthy bounce off of 55 is always good to see. Ideally, we would be making highs over the past 3 days, right? If we could get past 62.45 or 62.50, that would be nice. Who knows if it's in the cards? We'll see. PHUN following suit, though. It's up 0.74%, basically looking exactly like DWAC. If you look at the two charts side by side, they're very similar. So PHUN following suit. And Silver says, I keep thinking the drop in market will be summer 2022, I think, when China invaded Taiwan after Olympics. Are they going to do that? Did they invade Taiwan? I haven't. I've not kept up with the China-Taiwan situation, but I know it's a big deal. I know some people are worried about it. But yeah, that might cause a drop in the markets. That certainly wouldn't be good. Biden said that we would. I think he said at a town hall that we would go to war with China if they did that. So, or at least that we would defend Taiwan. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with that. Hopefully there's no war. That wouldn't be good. That would be very bad for stocks. It would be potentially good for gold. It would potentially be good. When there's uncertainty, people they flock towards these physical assets. So it could be good for gold. Probably not great for crypto. So in this poll, do you think the market will drop over the next month? We've got 26 votes. Yes, 23% say yes, 20% plus. 15% say yes, 10% plus drop. And 15% say yes, but not much. 46% of people say no. So a lot of people don't think the market's dropping. But the next highest is people think it's going to be crashing down 20% in the next month. We'll see. I don't know if it'll crash 20%. That'd be pretty significant, but I will say that the last time the Fed, and granted, it's not doing this right now, it's not actually lowering interest rates, but if we look back, we actually have to go back even longer, max a week. Let's see. So back in 2018, I remember the Fed started raising interest rates again after having them fairly low for a while. It started raising interest rates, and the market just started going down and down and down and down. Dropped quite a bit from 186 all the way down to 150 before they reversed course and lowered interest rates again, and we started moving back up. So we aren't lowering interest rates yet, but we are reducing the amount of bond purchases that the Fed is doing. They said that over the next 10 months they would be reducing the number of bonds purchased by about $15 billion. Every month they'll be reducing it. And currently I think that adds up so that they'll have zero being purchased at the end of 10 months. So at that point, they said they would then look at whether or not interest rates need to be raised. And they're doing this to combat inflation, which is a problem, as you can see. If we look, we can see the year-over-year inflation right here. U.S. Core Consumer Price Index year-over-year, 4.6% annualized consumer inflation, as opposed to the 4.3% that was forecast. So higher than expected inflation year-over-year that we just got coming out. 8:30 this morning it came out. So they did that to crash the market normal 10 to 12-year cycle. It's working. Yep. The market is interesting how it works in those cycles. And nothing wrong with piling up cash waiting for the drop, buying up a few weeks or months of necessities. Yeah, I've done that. I've definitely bought up some of the necessities. I wish I had more food, like more non-perishable food. That would be nice, but I don't want to get too much into the apocalypse prepping stuff. Hopefully it won't be that bad. So I'm huge in real estate investing, construction, rentals. They are crashing us. Yep. And as the uber rich has exhausted all major profits, we'll see what happens it'll be interesting to see what happens. I think that everyone, the rich included, have gotten used to just the money printer rolling, seeing everyone's portfolios moving up constantly. We can see it with the list of the richest people. These have all increased dramatically year to date. If you look at the list of net worth increases, Elon's gone up 119 billion year to date, 15 billion for Jeff, 58 billion for Bernard Arnault, $6 billion increase year over year for Bill Gates. Massive increases in these people's net worth. So the rich have also been benefiting from these markets going up. So SENS is going up, says Senrat Singh. We did actually look at SENS earlier, and we did just get past 4. Nice. That's what we were looking for with SENS. Because if you look at the past year, you can see we've had some fierce resistance at $4 a couple of times. And just because we've obviously touched up above 4, it's not a guarantee that we're going to stay there, because we have done it in the past. But a hold above 4 would be very nice for us, right? We've done that for a couple of days in the past before getting bounced off. But if we can maintain it or shoot very high above 4, that's a good sign for SENS. So Silver says, and I hope the uber rich are shorting DWAC only to get hit hard, trading places. Ambition 2020 says the crashes are for them to reload and to stop us, then replay all over again. Uber billionaires, world runners. Yeah. It's interesting now that we have the internet, now that we've recognized that there are these predictable patterns in the market, now that people are more savvy to that than they have been in the past, right? I think a lot of the time when you look way back, people used to put money in the market and it would move down and they'd sell out and say, oh, investing, it's a scam. Things always crash. I always lose money. But now that you have the internet, you kind of know that's not always the case, and that there are periods of time where the markets move up relatively steadily, and that there are predictable times when the market may end up crashing. There might be a downturn, but you know that if you hold through it, then on the other side, there's likely to be green. So a lot of people are becoming more savvy to that now. It's interesting to see if we'll have a difference in how people invested back then versus how they are currently investing, right? Obviously, we've seen a bit of an increase in volatility. We've seen a lot more upwards momentum in the markets since people have had a bit more access to this information. Once Robinhood really started taking off and the everyman started investing, it's interesting to see that we have definitely just been moving up and up and up, Will there be a consequence? Will we start dipping a ton? Or will people kind of adhere to the ideas that they have been for a while of let's buy up the dips? That's what they've essentially been saying every time except when COVID was hitting. They've just been buying up dips before they've gotten too large. COVID was a very scary situation, right? Where the economy was being threatened to close down. Then the government happened to save us with the money printing. But other than that, other than a huge disaster, not sure what will crash the markets, right? If the markets are going to crash, or if there's just enough money in the system and enough people who are savvy to the idea of buying the dip being profitable over the long term, will the markets crash big anymore? I don't know. They might. We'll have to see what happens with it. Obviously, inflation could be a massive problem for the markets, but that might actually lead to the markets moving up, right? As the dollar moves down, people will be looking to buy stocks with the dollar. Every time it hits 52 to 57, it bounces. Would love if Trump was buying this every time it hit 50. Yeah. So if you look, DWAC, we'll take a peek. We've got the breakdown on the chart right here. But over the past 30 days, we have had some very nice bounces, mostly off of 55 right here. 55 has acted as a very nice support for us. We've barely broken down below it at all ever, and we just hit it again today at 55.05. Leading to a nice bounce. So 50, below that, we've got 50 as a potential support, which we haven't tested yet, but it did act as resistance the day when we were pumping up massively, the initial day of the pump. So, yeah, we'll see. We'll see. And Matty Vision says, where my frogs at? Well, let's take a look at PROG, actually, and see what PROG is up to. PROG is up 8.5% to 370, so we've remained relatively steady around 370. Looks like we saw a nice bounce off of the 360 support. Hopefully we'll be moving up. Hopefully we'll be moving up to $4 today. That would be great to see. That would be good. And Federal Reserve raising interest rates will cause the crash, says Kitchener Leslie. It could be that could certainly cause the markets to move down. But Silver says no way the Fed wants bad optics for Brandon administration. Yeah, I don't think they want the market to move down, but we'll see how bad inflation gets. Why we do buy dips now, but now Gov has gotten involved to keep us in place. Even crypto tax frenzy as we speak. We are getting too rich. Money equals control and power. Yeah, that's true. It'll be interesting to see how much money you need to have control and power after inflation really sets in, right? If you end up needing a lot more, we'll see. I think that the rich are not huge fans of the idea that the everyman is starting to buy in to stocks, right? They like being the sole owners of them, and now as stocks go up, the public's getting rich too, so it's interesting to see. It used to mostly just be the rich. It still is. They still own most of the stocks. The rich, the 1% even, I think owns like 50% of the stocks. But Feds are doing what they were created to do. It's like clockwork. It certainly is somewhat predictable what they do. We'll see. I'm almost doubtful that we'll actually at the end of this 10 months have reduced the Fed's purchasing program down to zero. I think they might have to stop it ahead of time. We'll see. We'll see, though. If the markets start moving down, the Fed might have to end that, but we'll see what happens. It's good to see that gold and silver are starting to move, though. I'm happy to see that, up 1% on gold. Let's see what Barrett Gold is doing, and we are getting close to the end of the stream, guys. We're at 11:08, so we ran this one a little bit longer than we should have, but we were having fun, so it's excusable. And now to end it, we will read off the results of the poll. Do you think the market will drop over the next month? 41% say no, 21% say yes, 20% or more, 10% or 18% say yes, it will drop 10% or more, and 21% say yes, it will drop, but not by that much. So that's what we've got for the stream today. Thank you guys for joining us. It was super fun. I enjoyed it a lot, as usual. We will be starting up a Discord at some point, guys, so we can all communicate even after the streams, but not yet. I'll start working on that, though. And I will be releasing a video for those of you who have been asking on AQST today. I'll start a deep dive into that pretty soon, and that's what I'll be working on later today. But it was super fun. Enjoyed hanging out this morning, and have a good one, guys. I'll see you later.